going on, everyone? Switch back again, and today you're watching some the hidden gameplay. If you don't know what the hidden is, it is a mod that you can download on Steam for Half-Life 2, and it's pretty cool. It can get pretty damn scary if you're sitting in your room at 3 in the morning with no lights on, and you really get lost in the game, but fun nonetheless. But today we're not here to talk about the hidden. Today we're talking about wrestling, like the title so mentions. I know it's not the most popular thing to be into, but I've been into wrestling since hell I don't even know. Um, I think pretty much my entire life. I think I think I was in second grade and I saw a flyer at my elementary school that said Wrestling Academy or something like that, and I took it home to my parents, going, "I want to do this. I want to do this," and they actually had to explain to me that it's not that type of wrestling. So that's how much I was into pro wrestling as a kid, and still now I'm 20 years old. But I don't really remember why I first got into it. I do remember one of the first memories I have of wrestling was watching Stone Cold Steve Austin cut a promo on Raw. I don't know when, I don't know where. I mean, this was so fucking far back that I'm almost embarrassed to even mention it. But um, I don't know. It was something that I kind of identified with, something I was able to I don't want to say get away from stuff with, but it's definitely something that I've been attached to pretty much my entire life. There's been some not great periods, but a few years there where I wasn't really watching. Those few years known obviously as the PG era. You know, if you're a wrestling fan, you know what I mean. And even if you're not, when wrestling started to not be cool is when I stopped watching it. Not because I didn't think I would still be cool or anything like that, but um, it wasn't interesting to me anymore. But anyway, going back, like I said, Steve Austin was the first promo that I ever saw, and I'm not an old school, like old Buddy Rogers, classic Hulk Hogan style. I'm not that far back as a fan, but right around the birth of the Attitude Era is when I started watching wrestling. So pretty much from then on out, I've been up to date on pretty much everything. Even the years that I wasn't watching it, I still would like check up on forums and websites and stuff like that, see what was going on. But yeah, Steve was my favorite growing up. I just loved how he didn't really give a damn about anything. And obviously, older, I know that was, it's a story. They're trying to, while the endings are predetermined, they're still trying to tell a story in there. And I've always thought that anyone who enjoys a good story and who is into sports, wrestling is like the perfect blend of both of those. Because yeah, while it's not UFC, MMA, Bellator, Strikeforce, real, and there's an air quotes there, you're still getting like some of the best stories that have ever been told, personally, professionally, family wise. It's covered every basis, but you're still getting a lot of action in there too with the wrestling. And people like to like, oh dude, they're just gay, run around there in tights. I thought that shit ended in like fucking 7th grade, you know what I mean? And again, if you're a wrestling fan, you know exactly what I mean by that. So um yeah, Steve was definitely my favorite. I always thought Chris Jericho was underrated when I was growing up. Obviously, he was still in that kind of main event scene, especially when the invasion angle started to go on. He was in the main event, but I've always thought he was. I mean, because he still competes today at the highest level. As of recording this, he's going to be wrestling CM Punk at Payback in Chicago. So, I mean, no matter how long he's competed, he's been at the top. I was always a huge fan of Rob Van Dam, especially back in the ECW days. How like athletic he was, but still high flying and powerful. RVD was one of my favorites, also. But what kind of drew me away from wrestling, I remember specifically, it was when The Miz cashed in his Money in the Bank briefcase and won the title. And after that, I was like, okay, this is absolutely silly now. It's not that it didn't make sense to me, because it made perfect sense. I do read like wrestling news and news websites and forums and stuff like that. If there's a a spoiler or a news article or whatever like that. I'm all over that stuff. I know a lot of people don't like to do that, but I love knowing the behind the scenes stuff. Excuse me. Where was I? Yeah, Miz behind the scenes stuff. So yeah, after I saw that, I was like, okay, I'm done, and I didn't have anything to do with wrestling for the longest time. And then I came across one of these wrestling websites. I go to Bleacher Report for all my sports stuff to catch up on everything. I remember reading an article. I don't remember who it was by or anything like that, but it just the news headline was CM Punk's promo just saved wrestling. So I went and watched that promo, and you call me a bandwagoner if you want. I totally understand where you come from with that, and you know what, I agree. You know what the hell, that promo is what got me back into pro wrestling. So I 100% support that comment of calling me a bandwagoner, because I was, and I still am. Punk is without a doubt my favorite wrestler in today's wrestling business. At least for like the current era. He's not the future of WWE anymore, or anything like that. But I mean, Ambrose and Ziggler are definitely the two guys that are gonna be taking the company to new levels from here on out. But yeah, after watching that promo, I was like, holy shit. There was so much stuff that he wanted to say, like, that's real, real life. Again, it's a story, it's predetermined, but that from real life stuff. What he was saying was all true, but still tying it into a great storyline as well, talking about bringing the title back home to Chicago and all that stuff. So after seeing that, I was sold right back into it. I mean, and it's so nice to see people like Rollins and Reigns. I know his name was Liaki, I believe is how you pronounced it, in NXT, or Florida Championship Wrestling at that time. And Ambrose being called up now. Bray Wyatt being called up now. Ziggler finally getting the title on him. It's an exciting time for wrestling right now. There's still a lot of decisions that I think like, don't really understand that. Like putting Punk against Undertaker at WrestleMania. Punk had already lost two main events in a row at pay-per-views to The Rock, and it was like, are you gonna continue to bury this guy or what? And I still question the booking decision of putting him with Jericho at Payback. But anyway, that's beside the point. So. Anyway, it's running out of time, but this kind of wraps up this video. This channel is, again, tying in a lot of my interest with gaming, so obviously gonna have to make a lot more wrestling talk vids in the future. And yeah, I mean, if you guys like this sort of stuff, go ahead and subscribe. A lot more stuff coming, so have a good day. No, where the fuck?